Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's up? It's your host with the most entertaining people like you from coast to coast, Wave Man Mike. And in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to do a taper fade on yourself. Before we get started, can you go ahead and do me a small favor and press the like button? Now that you've done that, let's go. So in this video, I'm just going to do the right side, and then maybe I'll do another video for the left side. I just see no point in putting both sides in the same video if they're the same thing. So if you want to see that, go ahead and watch the other part. The first thing we're going to do is brush the hair down on the sides. And then directly after that, grab your trimmers, and then you're going to make your first guideline. I don't always do mine the exact same every single time just because I want to experiment with it. But this time I put it right there at the top of where the C is. And you can see everything below that. I'm just going to use the trimmer to get rid of that hair. If you don't have an actual trimmer or outliner, whatever you call it, you can just use your hair clippers, the same ones that you're going to use for the rest of the fade or the rest of the taper. You can use those too. So you don't necessarily have to use a trimmer like I'm using here. These just give you a lot closer cuts. So that way the area is going to be a lot more bald at the bottom. And once you finish cleaning everything up with the trimmer, take your brush and just brush the hair back down. You should get a really good look at the guideline. Now that you have finished with your trimmer, it's time to get your clipper. Take the lever, open it all the way up, and then go up about ½ an inch or so. Really take your time. Even the speed that I'm going right now in the video, you should probably go a little bit slower than this. A lot of times people watch these barber videos and they see people moving pretty fast. You have to remember these two things. One, the person watching the video already has experience because they know how to do this. And then two, the video is probably sped up and edited anyway. As you can see, I just closed the clipper and now I'm attacking the very bottom of the guideline. This is where we start to blend things in. I know it looks like I'm keeping the clipper very flat, but I'm actually just using about half of the blade, maybe even a little bit less at some points. It's just hard to see from this angle, but as you can see, that line is really blending out. Now we'll just move the lever between open and close so we can blend it more and more. The higher you go, the more you want to have the lever open. The lower you go, the more closed you want to have the lever. And remember to stretch the skin. As you can see, I'm doing that right here. And the higher you get to it, remember this lever is now all the way open because I'm all the way up at the very top of this guideline. I'm actually flicking out. And then I'm going to brush off my hair. I'm going to brush off the clippers. And then I'm going to put a new guard on the clippers. This one is the 0.5 guard. The beautiful thing about doing taper fades is that it's pretty much the same steps no matter which guard is on the clipper. So you're doing the same steps here as you did when you had no guard on at all. The only difference is you're a little bit higher up. And here's a tip that nobody really taught me, or not at least until it was too late. With each guideline, make it a little bit smaller than the one just below it. So this one is a little bit smaller than the one with no guideline or no guard at all. I have the lever completely open and I'm just making that full section really clear, really clean, going at it from different angles, trying to get all the hair. It's important to angle the clippers different angles because sometimes the hair grows in different angles. So after you finish that guideline, go ahead and brush the hair back down. You can get a really good look at what you're doing. And then you're going to go ahead and close the lever and attack the line just at the bottom right there. I know it looks like I'm pressing down really hard, but I promise you guys don't have to put that much pressure down on your head. Kind of let the clipper just glide along. And whenever I do a taper, I like to remove a little bit of that bulk behind the ears. It just helps with the overall shape of the haircut and the overall cleanliness of the haircut. Then we're going to brush the hair back down and then we're going to clean up this guideline. So we're going to open and close the lever and we're just going to look for all the hairs that stick out that don't look completely blended to me, or I guess don't look completely blended to you. I think it's a good idea to stretch the skin, whether it's from the top of your head or from the bottom, like on your cheekbone. You can always stretch the skin so you can get more, I guess, surface area to blend on. That way when you let it go, the blend looks a lot more blurry. Then as you go, remember what I said before. The lower that you are, the more closed that you'll have the lever. The higher that you are, the more open that you'll have the lever. And that applies no matter which guard you have on. So that worked for when we had no guard on at all. And now that works even though we have the 0.5 guard. because that's just the way that it works. When the lever is closed, it cuts more hair than when the lever is open. So of course you want to have the bottom of the fade be shorter than the top of the fade, because the top of the fade is blending into the main haircut, if that makes sense. If that makes sense to you, go ahead and drop a comment down below saying it makes perfect sense. And if that makes perfect sense to you, then you're able to do a full taper fade, because no matter which guard you have on the clipper, it's going to be the same steps. You start with it all the way open, doing the full guideline, then you go to the bottom, you close it, and then ever so slightly moving up, you open it up. So that way it blends. You just notch it open the more you go up, and then when you get to the very top, you just kind of feather it and flick it so that way you can blend. You brush it down so that it comes together. You can see what you're doing. And then after you're done doing all your tapers, you're gonna do exactly what I'm doing right now. You're gonna take your trimmers. Remember I mentioned those trimmers at the beginning of the video? Here's how they come in handy for the rest of the haircut, because you can use those to outline and line yourself up. And that can take any haircut to the next level. Right now I'm doing my neckline. I'm trying to stay on theme of, you know, just doing the right side. I know I said this is a right side video. There's a little piece right there that I can't seem to get. What's going on here? All right, we'll just move on from that. What do you guys think? I think it turned out pretty good. Can you guys give me a rating, 1 through 10? My face in the mirror right there was pretty funny. Can I tell you guys a secret? Honestly, I recorded this video back in 2020, 5 years ago, and I'm just now uploading it. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I have so many videos that I never uploaded, but I'm gonna drop them for you guys. I was kind of self-conscious because my haircut was really low and you couldn't really see my waves, but at the end of the day, I mean, in 50 years, I'm gonna look back at a video like this and I'm gonna say, job well done. So now I'm shaping up my beard. That was a really positive outlook on something. But I'm shaping up my beard. That's how you know this is an old video, because I don't even have a beard anymore. I don't even try. I shave my face literally every other day. So I'm shaping up the back of my beard. I might do underneath the chin right here just to give it a little bit more shape. But as you can see, it's really, really thin. It doesn't grow too thick. We'll just go ahead and use the trimmer so we can clean this all up. And then we're gonna move on to doing the hairline. So for the hairline, you could just brush it all down. I use a soft brush, and then you just start from the center and then you move your way over to the sides. Now I have a little bit of a thinning hairline. I've had it thinning for as long as I can remember. This is 2020, which is 5 years ago. So if you guys are thinking that my hairline is just starting to be thin, no, it's been thinning forever. But if you start from the center and move over to the sides, it's a lot easier than trying to start from the sides and then move over. I like to use outlining pencils sometimes if I want some extra definition along with enhancements. This is the white outlining pencil, but sometimes I like to use the brown one too, just because it's a little bit closer to my skin color. If you're looking for an outlining pencil, you can go to www.decutbuddy.com and you can use my discount code WavemanMike. That way you can save some money. The Cut Buddy also has brushes on their website. They have do-rags on their website, and they have hair clippers and hair trimmers on their website. One-stop shop. Just make sure you use my discount code WavemanMike. But I don't want to make this video one long promo, nor do I want to make it about the hairline. So I'll just go over the steps one more time for the taper. You start by going up about a ½ inch. Then after that full ½ inch is even to whatever guard you have on the clipper, you go to the very bottom of that guideline. You close the lever and you start blending. Then you slightly open the lever. By the way, you're going up with this. And then you do the same thing. You slightly open the lever and you blend. And you keep on doing that from the bottom of the guideline where the lever is completely closed to the top of the guideline where the lever is completely open. After you do that with no guard on, you're gonna do that with the 0.5 guard on, then the 1 guard on, then the 1.5 guard on, then the 2 guard on, and that's where you're gonna flick it into your main haircut, and then you end up with a final result something like this. So I didn't need to use all the guards because my hair is generally pretty short, but if your hair is pretty long, then you can use additional guards, and it's following the same exact steps that I told you about in this video. And this is the final result. Go ahead and press the like button. Go ahead and give me a rating 1 through 10. I'm Wave Man Mike. Subscribe, comment, and like.